Hi, everybody. Hope you all are doing well. Once again, welcome to Unacademy Live on my channel. And I'm back with a very interesting session today, as you all can see. How to avoid common errors in English, right? So, this session is actually going to help you out to understand as to how can you avoid making errors while writing English as well as while speaking English. So before we begin with the session, there are some rituals that we have to be uh, covering up. We are going to study what are the steps of avoiding common errors while speaking as well as writing English. In fact, what you think is what you speak, and that is how you write. So how do you write it in a correct way? So we are going to have a very detailed session, and it's going to be a very interesting one. So stay tuned. Let me just begin with my introduction. I am Paramita Chattaraj, and I am a qualified English teacher with more than 15 years of experience. I have worked in international schools and CBSE as well as ICSE board schools. And I am a certified British Council activity coordinator as well. I've been awarded with the British Council certificate, and I'm extremely passionate about making my learners, master the art of writing, speaking, thinking English. Yes. So let's move ahead. Talking about Unacademy and its benefits, definitely. Unacademy is one of the best live online learning platform. You can learn from the comfort of your home, and you have, if you take a subscription, you have an access to all the courses, which are the ongoing one as well as the upcoming one. You have mentorship and guidance from very good and top educators. Then you have regular doubt clearing sessions, live test series. Then we provide you notes, study material in PDF format. Then you have answer writing section. Then you have your weekly quiz, your mega quiz, your polls to test your understanding from time to time. So I'll just take you across what are some of the other benefits, how you should be subscribing. You should be going to the site Unacademy plus subscription www.unacademy.com. Use my code PC29 and you get a 10% discount on your subscription. So these are some of the ongoing batches. I am also a batch educator, and I'm taking English for classes 9th and 10th. And you have these upcoming batches for science and social science. You have the educators will be discussing the previous year questions also. Syllabus completion. We as batch educators are also going to complete the syllabus by December. And you're most welcome to join. Now, yes, this is to take you across what are some of the upcoming plans. You can top your exams, plan, so go for the subscription, and there are very well designed, tailor-made, yes, yearly plans, 4 yearly plans. Then we have quarterly plans, and you see the kind of discount that Unacademy has come up. So please subscribe now and prepare for class 9, 10, 11, 12, in whichever class you are, because CBSE K-12 is the way on Unacademy for your success. So let's crack it. Now, how do you do it? You have to download the Unacademy learning app on your mobile or wherever, on your laptop, and you'll have to go for the K-12 subscription. Then log into the app and choose your goal, whether you are a 9th grader, 10th, 11th or 12th grader. Get the subscription. Then you go to get subscription, and please apply PC29 as the referral code. Immediately you get a 10% discount, and then after that you can click on to proceed for the payment. You can go for a monthly plan, maybe a quarterly or 6 monthly or a yearly plan, and I'm very much sure, I can guarantee you, there is a hell lot of difference in your learning process, and you score very well if you take the subscription. You are under the guidance of top educators. So I hope the briefing was good enough for you to plan for a subscription. So I hope everybody is ready now. Let's put our thinking caps on and let's crack it. Now, as I have chosen today's topic, how to avoid making common errors in English. We as language teachers and we as individual persons, we usually come across in our day-to-day conversation, and while writing also, as an English teacher, I definitely come across a lot of students making certain common errors while writing also and while speaking, the verbal as well as the written skill. So what is the first thing that you see on the slide? I'll just brief you about some of the mantras, some of the advices, some of the tips that you can stay with me during the session, and you can learn how to be completely error free. If not completely, at least 60 to 70% error free, right? Nobody is perfect in this world, but if you try, you can avoid making errors. The first is use simple language, as you can see, right? If you are a beginner, for example, if you are a beginner, you will have to think about simplifying what you are speaking and what you are learning. This is the first mantra. If as a beginner you just come across something which you don't understand, or even if you are not a beginner and you are writing a sentence or you are speaking something and it's too complicated, and you have ended up using jargons and all, then I think it is not going to work. It actually becomes completely messy, right? Because your readers, your examiner, your teacher, or for whosoever you have written, if they do not understand what you have written, then it does not make any sense. So the bottom line here, or the advice, is that do not go for any complicated writing using present perfect tense or maybe conditional. Right? So if you are not at all sure about how to use the tense or how to use those conditional words, right? Whether, that, if, please don't go for it, right? You create a simple sentence, you make yourself clear, and you are sorted. And if you end up using these present perfect tense or maybe conditional words, what happens? You end up creating a lot of mistakes in your writing as well as in your speaking, right? So whatever, if you have just started to speak or write in English, everybody, I'm sure, is a beginner. Someday or the other, even I was a beginner, right? So I have groomed myself. Now, how have I groomed myself? I have started with writing simple sentences, speaking simple and expressing myself in a very, very simple way, rather trying to incorporate certain words which even I am not sure about. So please don't go for it, right? You can just end up writing simple sentences, and the sentences which you are familiar with. You might have seen certain sentences many a times, and if it is relevant enough and if it is comfortable enough for you to apply that, you may please go for it, right? If it sounds meaningful, you may go for that, rather getting into a complicated one, and express yourself as if you were just talking like a pro, a professional, right? You need not hesitate. But having said that, when you are confidently speaking or writing, make sure whatever you are writing is correct and not something vague, right? Because end of the day, whosoever is reading whatever you have written, or whosoever is standing before you, speaking to you, is well read and efficient enough to understand as to what you are speaking, right? So express yourself and simultaneously learn the language. Do not commit any mistake which just is going to create a mess, and which is just going to spoil everything, spoil the effort that you have made. Okay, got it? Did you get it? Okay. So the second advice, now if you are a beginner, and as I said that everybody is a beginner, someday or the other, everybody is a beginner. So what is that step that you should be following? Initially, when you are speaking, you should be speaking slow rather than just rushing with the language and ending up probably creating a sentence which is full of errors. Same is applicable while you are writing also. Okay, so very simple language is supposed to be used. Very simple language. All right, no jargons, no complicated words, no complicated sentences. Use simple language, express yourself in a simpler way. Post that, when you just become, slowly start, you slowly start becoming confident in using your language, you can go for certain complex compound sentences and you can apply those words which you understand. Now I'm going to give you a few more advices and few more steps as to how to apply good words or how to get familiarized with good sentence structures as well as good words. But here we are now talking about when you have just started writing or just started speaking, you have to be very slow and you have to, end up creating something which is simple and understandable. Now, for example, if you have been given a task to write 10 correct sentences or maybe a message, email, if you are just sitting, to write down an email, right? And you took 2 hours. So here the point is that you should be taking 2 hours if you are just starting to write. And why have you taken 2 hours? Have you asked that question to yourself? Why was 2 hours being taken by you in order to write down an email? So why did I do that? Now, I have taken 2 hours because what is the process that I should be following? You should be, or I should be reading your sentences many times and I should look for mistakes, right? Nobody is perfect. If you think that whatever you have written is completely perfect, then you are mistaken. That means that you are just happy and satisfied with what you have written and you are not checking for mistakes. If you read between the lines, if you read your sentences, many a times you will definitely end up finding something or the other as mistakes. And if you rectify those mistakes, I'm sure the email that you have drafted at the end is going to be a perfect one. All right. So writing an email actually requires formal language. Hence, it is advised that whatever sentences you are framing for writing an email, if a task has been given to you, it is just not per se email. Any writing task, it requires creativity, it requires proper punctuation, grammar, tenses, everything, application of everything. It's an amalgamation of everything. So when you are writing it, you will have to see that you correct your own sentences frequently. When you do the corrections, you will come to know, okay, fine, I have written this sentence. Okay, just let me check. Let me cross check. Then you come across a word which you may want to replace. Then you replace it with a better word. So slowly continuing with this process is going to help you write always in a better and in a correct way. In a correct way. You have committed errors while you have written the sentence, but while you are correcting it, you are actually doing away with the mistakes. This is a practice which every person should have. And how am I going to check my sentences that I have written? How am I going to check it? Do I use a dictionary? Do I have some other resources? Definitely. Now my advice here is, I as an English teacher, I've always told my students to carry a dictionary. While I was working in a school also, I always used to tell them that a pocket dictionary should always be there in your bag. And some of them were very particular in bringing a small Oxford dictionary. And nowadays your smartphones may also have the app. I also use it. Other resources on Google, maybe good English websites. Grammarly is a very good website which you can approach, and you can keep, Googling and visiting those resources for proper check and proper knowledge. Sample and example sentences are also supposed to be referred. Now these sites and the proper dictionaries that you use, thesaurus that you use, will always guide you as to how to apply sentences for writing. Okay, when you are speaking, it is good enough for you to speak a sentence or build it up, right? So for example, you are standing in a group and you thought of speaking something in English. Have you framed it? Now, why is this advice? Why is this mantra going to work? Now, this tip or this mantra is going to work because in your mind, if you have framed the sentence and you feel that's a correct one, then only you should be speaking. Okay. So the correct framing, further in this session, I will also tell you what are some of the things that you should be requiring, for framing a sentence. What are some of the elements that you should be including? So think, pause and think, frame the sentence in your mind, in your head, and then go up and speak. This is a very big problem, right? I'm not sure. Should I speak? Should I not speak? So here, the next mantra is that if you're not sure, please don't say. It is just nothing wrong if you don't know how to say or whatever. I mean, if you have a hesitation in your mind, then my advice is please do not speak unless you are sure about it. Sometimes it may happen that you might not be sure grammatically, you might not be sure about the correct pronunciation of a word, but if you can't say it correctly, it's better, it is advised for you not to say it unless you are sure about it. But when I say this, see, it's always better to keep quiet rather than to say something wrong and get yourself mocked. Now, how is this, getting corrected going to develop in me? I am going to refer the dictionary as well as good sites, right? Speaking and writing, they go hand in hand. When you are speaking something and when you are aware of a certain word, you end up, saying that word in a flawless way. All right. And when you are confident enough that whatever I'm going to speak is correct, okay, you can speak. But now, for example, you are there in a group and the group is discussing about a particular topic and you felt like, you should also be speaking. Probably at that point of time, you might feel that I'm just going off beat, or it is just not about the topic. It is okay. You can just say that I want to speak about this topic, which you people might not be speaking. But there, you are confident enough about what you are going to speak. Maybe it is something different that the others are not speaking. But here you are confident that whatever I'm going to speak on a different topic, I know what it is. At that point of time, you're confident. So speak about it. There is no harm. Okay. So till now, what were some of the tips given? Some of the tips were that if I am a beginner, I should be using simple language. I should always cross-check whatever I have written or whatever I am speaking has to be chalked out in my mind. Next thing, I should always use good vocabulary, but how will I apply and how will I look for sample sentences and how will I look for some good words? Here, I have advised you to look for a dictionary or good grammar sites, which is definitely going to help you. Correct pronunciation of the word, application of correct grammar is a must. You cannot, while you are writing, even if you are not speaking in a public, it's not necessary every time you'll have to speak in public. You might have been given a written task. Now, a written task or a verbal task, or when you are speaking, there can be a number of competitions in your school which is related to speaking also. So, at that point of time, what happens is that if you are sure about it, if you are sure what you are speaking, whether it's correctly, grammatically correct, and whether pronunciation wise it is correct, content wise it is correct, then go ahead and speak about it. Another tip which I spoke about was when you are ready to speak something, please chalk it out in your mind, whether that's correct or not, and then move ahead and speak. So based on this, there is a small activity that is going to come up. You'll get 20 seconds for an incorrect sentence which appears on your slide, and you will have to come up with the correct sentence, and you can post it in the comment box. And then after that, I will show you the correct answer. So ready? Are you ready to answer the question? You have 20 seconds. There goes, and your time starts now. Now the statement here is her husband is very older than she is. Do we speak like that? Definitely not. So this sentence has an error. You may please, I will wait for you for your comment to be posted in the comment box, and meanwhile I will show you what is the correct answer. The correct answer or the correct statement is what, or the sentence is, her husband is much or far older than she is. We don't say very older, right? Sometimes I have heard students saying the movie which I saw last month was far better. Again, here you have to have that sense when you are speaking something, is it sounding correct to your ears? Not many people may have that quality, but I sometimes advise my students that if you are capable enough to sense whether that sentence is sounding correct to you or not, you may please go ahead, speak that sentence again and again. So we can say that the movie which I saw, which I saw a month back was, much better than what I saw 6 months back. Again, sometimes people say, I'm seeing a movie. I'm seeing a movie. That is absolutely incorrect. I am watching a movie. That is what we say, watching a movie. Are you going to watch a movie? That is the correct and appropriate word to be used. Now, the second one, time has already started. We had a long travel through the mountains. Traveling, journey, making a journey and traveling are two different things. So your time is flying away and I will come up with the correct answer. We had a long journey through the mountain. What is traveling and what is a journey? Not much of a difference. Traveling is the entire process. Journey is that particular area on which you are, dwelling with. Travel may involve multiple places and the entire process. The entire process. Journey is what? It is through the mountains. Okay. Now the next one. Yes, usually this is an error which everybody does. Why? Because equipment starts east, it's a vowel. So we put an an. I bought an equipment for my kitchen, which is incorrect, right? And what is the correct sentence? We can post. I bought a piece of equipment for my kitchen, which is a correct English. We often cannot make out, right? A piece of equipment. Okay. So this is how, we frame sentences and in a correct way. Moving ahead. Okay. Now what is the writing tip that we should be having? While I am writing, the first and foremost advice which I give all my students, as I've already told in this session previously that you will have to have a dictionary. You cannot just do away with a dictionary. There is no substitute to dictionary. And see, people who are avid readers who read, they often come across a lot of sentence structures, and there are a lot of words that they come across. Now, how is it that you are going to learn about the meaning of those words, and how are you going to apply them? Now, what are the steps? Whenever you are not sure how to use a dictionary, look it up, how to use a word. I'm so sorry. Look it up in a good dictionary and find example sentences. As I said, nowadays there are smartphones on which you can download the app also, but I would always advise you to go for a physical dictionary wherein what you can do, you can take up a proper Oxford dictionary and you will find phrases, sentences, the forms of the words, everything over there. You can also use a thesaurus for the same. Lot of example sentences are always found in the dictionary and in a thesaurus also. So it is just not looking into it, you will have to apply it as well. Application of the same is very, very necessary. Okay. Now, when you have written something and you are not sure if it is correct, search it. I always tell, see, searching on Google is nothing wrong. You have, you are lucky enough that you can just search it on Google, and if the phrase, sometimes you are searching for a phrase, sometimes you are searching for the meaning of a phrase, and sometimes you are searching for how to, apply for the application of that particular phrase. Then it is correct. When you see that it is appearing in all your searches in all the pages, then you get a confidence and you are confirmed that, okay, fine, I am using this and I am writing it in a error-free manner. I'm using this phrase, the phrase means this, and this is how I am framing my sentence, and I'm committing less error. Yes, you will tend to commit less error if you use a dictionary and if you go for different English sites which are very, very helpful for you to commit less errors. That is what I said. We as English teachers see googling into grammarly.in, and there are a lot of Cambridge sites also which I personally refer to, and they are very good. They have made me learn a lot. We all are learners, right? Every day we learn something or the other, whether it is related to your subject or whether not. So when you are planning to learn good English, speak good English without any error, write without any error, frame good sentences without committing silly mistakes or common errors, you will have to groom yourself. So websites are most of the times very, very useful, and if you do not have a trainer or a teacher, or sometimes you must be having an English teacher definitely, but there are sometimes if it does not help, definitely you can go to such websites and you can teach yourself, you can groom yourself. So this is one advice that I am giving you. Okay. Now I was talking about the common errors. We often end up, making certain errors, and we should be knowing actually, and we should be realizing as to where we have committed the mistake. Most of the time, or very often, we see that we don't realize, we think whenever, I mean, from the examination point of view also, whenever we see, what happens is that we have, we have written and we think whatever we have written is correct. In that case, have you realized, do you know where you have committed the error? If this realization or the awareness is not there within yourself, then you don't tend to learn. Okay, now what happens, what is the most common thing that a student or a person does is, it is a human psychology that we start thinking in our mother tongue or in our native language, and we start translating that while speaking also and while writing. Is that correct? No, absolutely not. All right. So why am I saying that? Because the grammatical structure of your mother tongue and the grammatical structure of English is going to differ. It is going to be different. And how? So how do I come out from this mistake? Right? I am the first thing that you have to understand is you cannot end up translating your mother tongue into English. No, you can't do that. So what it is that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to pause and think, right? Whether I'm writing it correct, whether I'm thinking correct, whether I'm speaking correct. It all these processes, they go simultaneously. They're like simultaneous process and they go hand in hand. Okay. Now, after I have paused and think, I have to pay close attention to things like word order, articles, prepositions, tenses, which are the most essential element of framing a sentence in a correct way. Now, there are students who end up framing sentences probably without a verb, wherein I feel that a verb is very much essential for a sentence, if not every time, all the time, but sometimes. And if I see that a verb is supposed to be relevantly used in that sentence, then what do? We have to use prepositions, tenses, articles, word order. Word order is actually going to help you to frame the sentence in a correct way. Whether I have put the article, you will have to question yourself, while framing a sentence. The preposition, the article, sometimes my students, the Paramita ma'am. No, I do not think that is a correct one, but definitely we say the Taj Mahal, if it is a proper noun. Anywhere and everywhere you cannot end up putting the articles. All right, followed by prepositions, tenses. Now the words, all these words which have the tenses, which are prepositional words, they have to be put in a certain order. Okay, they have to be sequenced, and that is how you end up framing a good sentence. And you speak correctly also. It is a very integral part of your speaking also, right? Just jostling between the words and using filler words while speaking, that is going to reflect in your writing also. Okay, sometimes you may compare your sentences, equivalent sentences which you have as per your mother tongue or your native language, and sometimes English and native language and your mother tongue, those sentences which are equivalent, which are similar, can also be compared, right? In that case, while you are comparing, what can be noticed is the word order. Whether the preposition has come before the noun, after the noun, where is the adjective being put up, where is the verb being put up, and how have you ordered the entire sentence. Whether while you are speaking in your mother tongue, the order of words is the same, or the order same to what you speak in English. That comparison is supposed to be done, which will actually give you an idea that I should not be translating my native language word to word in English. In that case, you end up making terrible mistakes. Error and error, endless errors, which we are going to avoid, right? We are not going to do that. So why am I saying that? You will have to be very, very careful while you are speaking in English, right? So now, for example, you will realize which parts of your sentences can be wrong. When you are trying to speak, and sometimes I as an English teacher also, while I'm writing something, I cross-check my sentence again and again, whether I have put the preposition in the correct place, whether my tense is correct, the verb form is used in a proper way or not, right? Whether an article is required in the sentence or not. Cross-check, cross-check, and cross-check. That is going to, make your speaking as well as your writing ekdam error-free, flawless, right? Now, this is a very, very big question. How am I going to start speaking fluently and flawlessly? right? If I'm a I'm a person who is going slow and careful, I'm taking care of all the words, and I'm thinking before I'm speaking. Believe me, that's the initial process. That will help you to start building the fluency slowly and slowly. Okay, so at that point of time, what will happen is um, you can just go slow with your process, all right, and be careful. Now, how? You are a beginner. Please do not worry about your fluency at that time. Now, your motto is to learn the language. Your motto is to learn the language, and fluency, it's easy to achieve by simply talking. If you practice speaking, you will be able to speak faster and faster. Much better to be slow and correct than be fluent and make a lot of mistakes. Yes, absolutely. I have started slow. I am careful in what I am speaking. Why? Because I am learning to speak. Right? Now, while in this process of slow learning or slow speaking, the speed can be gradually increased, right? And later on, you will see that you have started speaking faster and faster. Initial process is a slow process. After a certain point of time, when you have practiced, okay, you can be very fluent, and you can you sometimes it happens is that you have started slow and you become suddenly confident that I can be fluent, but at that point of time, unless you are perfect, you end up making a lot of mistakes. The speed has to be developed first. Slow and steady wins the race. Yes, slowly you have to work on the speed. You have to think whatever you are speaking, but if you are not fluent, you make a lot of mistakes, right? You don't realize it also, while writing also, while speaking also. So here the advice is go slow first, slowly work on your speed, and then your fluency, because once you work on your speed, once the speed comes up, fluency is automatically going to be built up, right? So this is how you are going to do. Now I've been speaking, and this is a section where you can ask any question, ask me anything. You post your questions in the comment box, and I will just answer whatever doubts or whatever questions pertaining to this session that I have done. You can just end up asking me, and I will clarify all your doubts, and then we move ahead. So I will just see whatever you are posting in the comment box. And then the next tip. Yes, is anybody asking anything? I will just, whatever queries you have, whatever questions you have, you can just come to my plus classes also. You can join, and you can see the difference. How you are slowly going to be flawless, how you are going to be error-free while speaking and while writing. So moving on, don't speak or write too early. If you have been asked a question, maybe publicly, or you have been given a written task, for example, immediately just don't jump into it, right? There are people who have the tendency to speak all of a sudden and to write without even reading what has been instructed for them to do. What happens? Again, mistakes. So here we are to learn, how to avoid, these silly mistakes. Okay, now what are the rules? What are the rules? Okay, while speaking in a minute, if you speak more than 3 sentences, then you make mistakes. Why? Because I'm too fast. I'm just immediately I've started speaking. Why? I have to speak. Why? Because everybody's speaking. No, we are not into a rat race. Think and pause and think, and then speak, right? If this process is followed while speaking, then this has to be reflected in your writing also. How are we going to produce correct sentences? How are we going to produce correct sentences? Sometimes your pronunciation may not be up to the mark. You have a very normal kind of a pronunciation. But if you are, while you are writing, nobody is listening to your pronunciation. Definitely when you are speaking, people are listening to your pronunciation, how you are, how your diction is and what kind of words you are using. While you are writing, your language, your vocabulary, your application of grammar is supposed to be judged. So if you are an avid reader, if you use the dictionary, if you use proper resources to groom yourself and check, cross-check, double-check, without making anything which is hasty, without rushing towards it, then you are a winner. You have to use a dictionary or good books to look things up, to correct your errors. These are the things that we have been following. I mean, it's been 15, 20 years that I've been into this profession, but I feel that I still look into certain sentences, into some resources that makes me learn all the more. Okay, so please write slow, think slow. Before speaking also, don't just jump into, speaking anything and everything, and people just making fun of you. You cannot end up doing that. Okay. Now you should first get lot of examples in your sentences for building whatever you want to. Now you are supposed to be, for example, creative writing. You've got a lot of ideas. So what do you do about it? Your your motto is to write down a good piece of writing, right? How do I do that? Now, I am going to jot down all the points that have come to my head. All that, all right? So after that, how do I assemble those points in creating a good write-up? Have I ever read something which is a very good piece of work? Have I heard a podcast or a blog or a good piece of video which actually gives me the insight of good linguistic skills? So why am I saying this? Read, listen, and then write and reflect. It is definitely 100% going to work. If you have taken up the task of building your own sentences, you will have to have certain examples and samples which you have seen. If you read a very good book, right, it can be a small fiction, a short story, an article even. If you are an article reader, if you keep on reading articles, someday or the other, you will feel that, okay, fine, I have come across so many sentences and this is the time that I can apply. So these are the examples that I have gone through. I have heard something. There are so many good speakers. You can see TED Talks, and you can see how the speakers are, they speak flawlessly using good language. So it's my advice that please read and please listen to good speakers who use good English and which are just exemplars for you to listen, to absorb, and then to apply. This is what you're going to be doing. Okay. So before you build, you have to have certain insights, certain examples which you can be applying. Okay. So the more you are into reading, the more you are into listening to, good speakers who use good in English, the more your brain absorbs, the more you are going to reflect. See, it is very simple. You see good English, you read good English, you apply. If you are not familiar with good language, if you just end up, inventing your own language. Why it is written inventing your own language? Because yes, definitely I have come across such people who really end up inventing their own English and they write up, and trust me, that does not work. That is all about making mistakes. That is again, back to square one. So in that case, what happens is you will have to have the habit of reading good books with with very good, with profound and polished language. Absorb it, learn it, and then reflect it. Okay. So, having said that, vice versa, if you do not see good English, if you do not listen to good English, if you are not familiar with good sentence structure or good vocabulary, uh, that certainly reflects in your work. There are very good students in my plus class and on an academy whom I see that they end up framing very good sentences. Okay, so at that point of time, it reflects, and I really tell them, when I advise them to read good books, they themselves come up with the point that yes ma'am, we do read good books, and it's reflected. Okay, so now in the last few minutes I will just give you the 5 powerful tips how to avoid mistakes. The first thing, form simple sentences, right? Do not get into anything which is complicated. The first and foremost when I started with this session is that you have to be very simple. You have to form simple sentences rather getting into a complex one, because you will have to, the second point is very correlated over here, that you will have to understand the basic things first rather than getting into the complex or complicated things, right? First, what are the basic rules? Am I simple? Am I understandable? I understand this, I'll go ahead with this. Later on, how do I soar higher and higher? Because I have certain examples, I have seen this. These examples are easy for me to understand, and that is how I apply. So don't create any confusion. Form very simple sentences. First, familiarize yourself with complex compound sentences by using, my advice is don't use jargons. Don't never use jargons in your words, because it somehow irritates the reader. Okay. So after you have formed simple sentences, once you are clear with the basic, you can just shift to the next level. Now, at times you may feel that you are unable to express yourself and you are taking too long. Don't worry. Make yourself perfect. Whatever you have started with, if you have started with basics, if you are forming simple sentences, master that first. Once you are able to master that, you can just move ahead. Here you are learning the language. You're not showing off. You have to learn the language. You have to master it. That is what I said. I always advise my students, please master the language. Don't stick to your curriculum. You've got lots to learn. English is such a subject. So once you have learned the basics, you are free to move ahead. The most important. How many of us do that? I always do it. Definitely. I'm very confident. I always, when I learn, I have a session on my plus class also. We do at least 5 words every day. Maybe idioms, maybe phrases, maybe words, along with the meanings. And why do I write and why do I do it? Why do I discuss these new words? I tell them that if we do it with the meaning, someday or the other, you're going to apply them. Now, how do I check the word meaning? Okay. So why do I check the meaning of the words? Because the reason is that I have to apply, I understand that I have to apply the correct word. Now, if the content is asking for a relevant word and I apply something else which is just irrelevant, which is meaningless, I spoil the entire write-up. Okay, I have already said, you people have smartphones. You can download the app. I use it. I use the dictionary on my smartphone. And whenever you come across a new word, create your word bank. Someday or the other, that is going to help you. You are getting into a creative writing, use that word bank. Every day, 5 words. Read the newspaper, articles, you will come across at least 5 words and their meanings are supposed to be written and collated in your word bank. Right? And you have to write the meanings, you have to cross-check the meanings in order to remember it. All right? And yes, that is what. Enhance your vocabulary. This, I have created a Vocaboom session in my class. Why do I do it? so that my students, they end up learning good vocabulary with their meanings. And whether you are applying the correct tense of that particular word in your write-up is also very, very necessary. Before you finalize the draft, please check it once, whether you have applied whether your entire write-up is using a correct tense or not, whether you have ended up using the correct tense or not, which is very, very necessary, especially for story writing. We always advise our students to go for past tense, first person or third person. Then, incorporate all the elements. So any sentence which is, you are framing has to be cross-checked. Each one of us, I said, to err is human. We all make mistakes. But what are we supposed to be doing when we are committing mistakes? When we are committing mistakes, then in that case, what are we supposed to be doing? We have to learn from the mistakes. Okay? The best way to improve is to know where you have gone wrong. That is what I said. If you consider that I have not made any mistakes, then you have definitely made mistakes. The entire thing is going to be spoiled, right? If you realize, okay, fine, this is my mistake, this is my mistake, this is my mistake. I have realized it. Now what am I supposed to be doing? How are you going to find it out? How are you going to work on your mistakes? You have realized, you have seen, you have referred to certain resources, books, websites, and you have seen that these are your mistakes. Abhi, kaise karna hai? How are you going to work with it? We have to practice. Written practice, English and maths are such things that, if you do not write and practice, there's no substitute to it. You have to write and practice, be it creative writing, be it writing your answers, your grammar exercises, your activities, etc. So once you have done these exercises, your grammar activities and everything, what are you supposed to do? How are you going to get it checked? How are you going to be sure whether what you have done is correct or not? Kaise check karenge? The best way, you can find out concepts which you are clear about, and while checking your errors, you can very well determine that, okay, fine, I am not good in this, so I'm supposed to be practicing this. I am good in this, so I can just leave it for a while, and you will have to pay more and more attention to those topics in which you are weak and devote more time in order to perfect them. Each and every stage. For example, you are doing an editing, omission, a story writing, or maybe direct to indirect speech, and you see that you are committing, mistakes over there while filling in the words or while writing a story. So what are we supposed to be doing? We are going to take up those exercises more and more and practicing them very often. Even if you have qualified the beginner level, right? You might be beginning, you might have started framing sentences just now. So what? Keep practicing. The practice that you are doing is going to make you all the more perfect. Okay, so this proofreading, we as English teachers always used to proofread everything. English department in every school, English teachers and English department in every school is supposed to be proofreading the language which the other teachers are doing. For example, the report card remarks, the question papers, everything has to be proofread. Similarly, whatever you are reading, now your accuracy, spelling, grammar, formatting, errors, everything. Nowadays we do everything on the computer. The formatting, the spelling error, the text, the content, etc. That is what is a proofreading all about. Now proofreading, it is just not about the linguistic part, the grammatical part. Now how are the technicalities being proofread? The formatting of the paper is done or not? So your accuracy, what you have written, whether it is grammatically correct or not, whether you have applied correct spellings, correct words, correct language, whether you have avoided careless mistakes or not, that is supposed to be taken care of. Hence, you will have to give it to somebody who is well read, get it checked and done. That is how you realize your mistakes. You must have made a huge effort in writing that draft. Then you will have to stay focused in the last step. You will have to see whether I'm doing everything in a correct way or not. This is the most important part. Don't be hasty. You need not, run. You don't, though you have to win the race, you have a target to be completed. You have stipulated time in your exam, to write down certain things. But please, when you are learning something, please go slow. Right? You will not get a medal if you just run and just fall down. Why? Because you have not learned anything. When you are learning, you will have to be very slow in the beginning. Take some time, plan your answer, think before you speak, and think before you write. It is always advisable for you to speak in a better and a correct way rather than speaking fast and end up, making mistakes. Grammatical mistakes, silly mistakes, common errors are the ones which are very frequently seen among students. So this session was for the purpose for you all to understand how to avoid certain things. If you follow these advices that I have told you in this session, they are not going to happen. But you will have to fall into that system. You will have to practice it. Okay. So if you just take out some time to plan your write-up in the mind and then represent, I feel that is definitely going to work. It is. Okay. There is just no, shortcut to it. So when it comes to writing English, you can take as much time as you want and learn at your pace, right? So for example, when you are very keen to learn the language, when you are at the learning stage, it might take a little long in the initial stage. There's just no harm because nobody is, going to hang you for that. But if you have started slow, someday or the other you will definitely win the race. There is just no doubt about it. Don't worry, right? The more you practice, the more perfect you become. You will eventually improve as you practice. That is what I tell my students, that written practice has got no substitute at all. That is applicable for maths also. So maths, English writing, English grammar, it is all the same. You have to write in order to improve and in order to practice well. Okay, so I hope the session was quite fruitful for you, wherein we discussed how to avoid some of the errors that we often commit, the common errors that we often commit, and how to avoid doing them. So follow the rules, follow the mantras, follow the advices. Stay tuned. In the next session, I'm going to give, some tips about writing good answers in English, and I'm sure it is going to be a very, very interesting one. So stay tuned, and I will once again come back with this interesting topic wherein I will share my thoughts, my inputs, and my insight with all of you. So bye-bye, take care, see you again.